What's up, everybody? Welcome to Podcast Now. I'm Alex, and in this video, I want to talk about Hogwarts Legacy's busy couple days. It's been all over the place. There's been some blunders. There's been a lot of confusion. I've never seen so much confusion for this specific game before, and I want to try to answer some of the most commonly seen questions I've been looking at in regards to pre-orders and just all the kind of questions that have come up about it. And there was even some stuff today that was definitely puzzling and even worrying until Chandler kind of came in to clarify. One thing I do want to make this kind of clear is I'm not placing blame on any individual. Oftentimes my tweets or even sometimes the videos, people sometimes spin it in directions that I could never even predict. I'm not calling any one individual out. I don't even know who's responsible specifically. One thing that's for sure is that over the past couple of days, they've had a major communication issue. The different pre-orders, the different things you can get, there's actually almost a cheat code, which I'll talk about in this video, of one of these additions is not even necessary. And these things are just not spoken out very well. And that's not even, I'm not calling Chandler, just whoever planned this idea did not do a very good job. Obviously, we can start with the collector's edition, right? That was the first main blunder of, is it worth the price? That's kind of come and gone. Now, today, the biggest things have been, the pre-orders went live. They didn't go live at the time they said they were going to. It started at that time, and then it rolled out over the next little while, which is interesting that they would choose a strategy such as that. But you can get it. I mean, you can get it on PlayStation, Xbox, all this stuff. Now, some of the things that have come from this is two different observations. One was actually found by just the community. One, can I do this? Am I allowed to do this? I would like to take credit for finding the other slight issue that was then clarified. Number one is that if you pre-order on PlayStation, you get an exclusive quest. So that's actually, I guess there's two different parts of that. You get Liquid Luck. That's actually part of the pre-order, and they never said anything about that. Well, you actually get, I believe you get the potion recipe. I don't know how many if you get potions exactly, but you'll get basically Liquid Luck. Now, I would assume that is simply a collectible. What's going to be interesting is, can you get that in the game, right? So you can imagine it's literally something you can take. Maybe it like enhances your health. Maybe it enhances, some sort of aspect of your fighting when you're fighting. But the question will be, do you need to pre-order the game to get it, or can you earn this in the game? Now, a lot of this stuff, in fact, Chandler had said, all of this stuff is not unlocked in the game. So like this Thestral mount, you cannot get that in the game. There's no way of, if you play 400 hours, you unlock the mount. No, that's not how it works, right? You need to do this to get it. So for this Liquid Luck, is that something that you can only get if you pre-order? That's one thing, and that's going to be interesting. And then there's the quest. Well, they never said anything about a quest. Now, pro and con. Pro is, that's cool. There's a quest that they haven't talked about that you get, and all you have to do is pre-order the game. The issue is, it's only on PlayStation. So that most likely is going to make some people upset because, I don't know if people know this, but the game is not just available on PlayStation. Now, I get it. Deals have been made. Obviously, Sony had made a deal with Avalanche. Now, here's the thing. We thought the deal with Avalanche was exclusive to kind of marketing. And it seems like it's not. It seems like there's also in-game things that are exclusive to PlayStation as well. So that's something. And look, whether you like it or don't like it, that's totally up to you. I'm not going to tell you what to think as long as you don't tell me what to think. And that's fine. But that's kind of separate because, again, that wasn't clarified. Why are people discovering that today for the first time and not Chandler or not Hogwarts saying that? So I'm going to take shots. That is unacceptable that they could let something like that go. Maybe it's not a big deal, but again, like this game is so big to so many people. So many people are keeping track of this game, unlike other games. And it's just not something you necessarily, I'm like finding out that a console has an exclusive, basically DLC mission that you can only get by pre-ordering and the others don't. That's something you probably want to tell people. Like, again, like if you like it or don't like it, it doesn't matter. That's something you would probably want to tell people before pre-orders go live, right? Not as pre-orders go live, before it. All right. So that's the first major part of this. Second major part is that I had found, and again, I don't know if I was the only one. I think I made a big deal about it on Twitter, so I feel like I was the only one to do that. But if you go to the notices, right, on PlayStation, every game, if you go to the very, very far right, you can see the notices, which basically just say, this game, you need online for it, or it's one player, like that kind of stuff, right? what's interesting is it said there's in-game purchases, optional. There's optional in-game purchases. And I looked at that and I was like, well, that's extremely interesting because I thought there were no microtransactions. Now, again, this has been clarified. This is not a gigantic rant of how bad they are. This is, Chandler clarified, and I believe he had said this a few days ago. But again, this was not made crystal clear through Hogwarts. This was made clear from Chandler's Twitter, which is not the same. You have to remember that too. Chandler's Twitter, not everybody who cares about Hogwarts is following or cares even what Chandler says on his Twitter, right? That's just something I want to throw in. That's not a slight against him. That's a slight against, again, communication issues. So what basically this is you can buy the Dark Arts pack. Remember, we talked about this in the editions video, all the different things you get for the different editions. There's that Dark Arts pack, and you can buy that separate. So if you don't, which I actually do like, I actually do appreciate that. So if you don't want it, originally, or you buy the standard edition and then you wouldn't get it, you can buy it separate later if you want to. Which, by the way, I mean, those things also go on sale. So if they charge $5 to $10 for it, you could imagine that it could go on sale realistically down the line. So maybe, if you don't want to spend that kind of money, or you don't want to do the deluxe, or, whatever, it's your situation. Whatever the situation may be, that's good. I appreciate that. But again, not making it very clear, there was the worry, oh my God, like what so it is. It's basically, it is a microtransaction. It's just that you're buying part of the above edition, like above edition to what you would have. You can buy that separate. That's what that meant. And again, that it's been wild. It's been wild. I'm not gonna lie. Again, I'm not gonna pull punches. And by the way, it's okay for games to mess up. It's okay for there to be I guess okay is debatable because it depends on the situation. Like, I'm not saying that this is something we want to see, like all of these different bad things kind of happening all at once. But I think what's kind of crazy and why it's a more big deal right now for Hogwarts Legacy, it's not even that big of a deal for me. I think it's a bigger deal for the entire community. This game has been relatively untouched, right? And I think that's okay. This game, besides that 14 months of just people being like, well, the game's gone. Like, they delayed it indefinitely. God knows when it comes out. That was an era of kind of just nobody really cared. But besides that, when it came back, there's been a lot of very good things to say about this game. It's kind of been propped up on just all positives. And now when they're starting to make mistakes and things aren't going perfectly, again, it's probably expected to not go perfectly. It shouldn't necessarily be acceptable. I mean, you should call it out, right? And then move on when it's fixed, which is kind of what I'm doing. But you know what I mean? So like the game, it's been odd because this game has had a lot of positive things said about it over the last 6 or so months. And now you have the collector's edition, which is the collector's edition is a major miss. Major miss. You even have Troy tweeting about it. Now, again, that's not even necessarily Avalanche. That's above Avalanche that picks the stuff for the collector's edition. So some of the stuff is Avalanche's fault. Some of the stuff is not their fault. But you're seeing some not great things around this game. I always find it interesting because this game has kind of been bulletproof over the last 6 or so months. And now it's starting to show some holes. So hopefully they plug those holes and they knock this kind of stuff off. Again, the biggest thing here, the collector's edition, again, is just a major, that's bad. It's just a really bad thing. It's, in my opinion, it's not worth the money. There's better collector's editions out there. They're missing things you would expect, like an acceptance letter. How easy would it be to put an acceptance letter in the collector's edition? Things like that. The rest of it, I think, has just been very bad communication. These editions are not very well spoken for. You, in fact, don't need to buy the PS5 Deluxe Edition. You don't have to do that. If you buy the PS4 Deluxe Edition, you're saving $10. You get the exact same thing. So just so you guys know, if you made it this far, do not buy the PS5 Deluxe Edition of any kind. Buy the PS4 one, because the PS4 one will come with the PS5, because you get the next-gen upgrade. So that's, again, it's like you have an $80 edition. Nobody should be buying that edition because you can do it another way. It's just kind of like a back alley way, but it's very clearly that's the better deal. And so what, they're trying to scam you on $10. Now, again, it's not necessarily Avalanche, but the communication is not there. So those are all things to keep in mind. Let me know if I missed anything. Let me know if you saw anything that I didn't. Make sure you guys are subscribed to the channel. Bell icon turned on so you know when all these videos go up. And I hope to see you all on the next one.